Memes are forever. So, welcome back to Girls Talk Comics.
Oh god, that was all recorded.
I'm your Lieutenant of Literature, springing an episode on the Master of Mediocrity.
She did so good.
I'm sneaky.
So good.
Sneaky.
But I'm gonna hit you right back and jump right in. We're talking about Lumberjanes.
Lumberjanes.
Volume 1.
Ooh.
Beware the Kitten Holy.
So, I kind of just want to read this. I didn't, prepare a speech this time, but I want to read the hoopla, spiel.
Go for it.
At Miss Quinzella Fisquin Pinaquickle Cecil Crumpet's camp for hardcore lady types, things are not what they seem. Three-eyed foxes, secret caves, anagrams! ! Luckily, Joe, J-O, April, A-P-R-I-L, Mal, M-A-L, Molly, M-O-L-L-Y, and Ripley, R-I-P-L-E-Y, are 5 rad, butt-kicking best pals determined to have an awesome summer together. And they're not gonna let a magical quest or an array of supernatural critters get in their way. The mystery keeps getting bigger, and it all begins here, presented as the Lumberjanes Field Manual, featuring a cover gallery and early character designs by Noelle, Stevenson, and Brooke Allen.
Well, I read it and felt like I was prepared for summer camp as long as I encountered three-eyed foxes.
Right.
Paragons of the gods. I think moving statues at some point. Intense waterfalls.
Yes.
I think if I had to do
As
math
serpents?
puzzles, yes, I could figure it out. If I met some Boy Scouts that
Boy
may
Cubs
have
is
been
close.
possessed by some god themselves.
also,
werewolves.
it's a Will Eisner winner, so
yeah, it's so good.
so good.
It's a story about friendship and about punching things and about solving puzzles
And I want
and about trusting others.
I
And
want to
that's
know.
what matters.
So it's kind of like a zine feel to it, because their interspersed material between issues it starts with a Lumberjanes manual explanation. And so at the very beginning, you see a message from the Lumberjanes High Council in which they have a picture of the camp sign, and it says camp for, and then over the top of the original sign they have hardcore lady types nailed on there. And I have to know what the fuck the original word was. It starts with a C. I don't know.
It could be a G. It might just say camp for girls.
It could say that.
Yeah.
It could say that.
But it could also, they also have the Lumberjanes pledge, which totally has a line blacked out that says, then there's a line about God or whatever.
And I feel this on a visceral level. I went to when I was in college, I lived in a ladies' hall for poor kids, basically, and it had a pledge. It was a cool ass pledge, except for that one line that did say something about God or whatever in it.
Man, their camp counselor is cool as hell.
She's
okay,
Rosie the Riveter meets tattoos meets I want her to be my mom.
Yeah, so real quick about we're gonna just jump in and talk about the characters, right?
Please.
Because we always like to talk about women and their representation.
Right, yes.
All of them either identify, I think, as they, them, or she. Some of the characters, and I think it comes out later, do actually will identify as trans.
Yeah.
And some of just the complications of, transitioning and gender identity and kind of the freedom of it. But because this book is about friendship to the max, it's also a great little story of all these girls accepting each other for who they are and how they want to represent, how they live their life. It's really just great. So all the characters, I think, in the first issue are girls.
Yeah.
And just incredibly diverse body designs, personalities, interests,
outfits?
race, ethnicities. It just really just does a great job spicing up the storytelling.
Skinny, thin, super thick.
Yeah, they do meet a boys' camp.
That looks like what you'd expect a boys' camp to look like.
Totally.
Just so many short khaki shorts.
Yeah.
So many very pasty white legs. And I mean pasty tan legs and
yeah. All kinds of
just pasty, nerdy boys.
A lot of hair, but not for the reason you expect.
Not good reasons. Not good hair.
So it's just fun characters, and I think actually my favorite part about it is because of the nature of the main characters. There's one camp counselor they have who doesn't believe in any of the weird stuff they're talking about, who they just exasperate. She's so fed up with them. And it's because they're like, look, we found all these crazy things. And she's like, nope, none of it's real. They're like, but Jen, it's real. And she's like, none of it's real. It's all plants. And they're like,
She's the cutest like cabin counselor ever too.
She gets so excited about all the little things.
She's like, look at this lavender on the ground. Take out your journal guides, your plant journal guides of the local fauna, and you're like, God, you're so basic.
Earnest. You're so earnest.
And basic, and I love it so much.
Yeah, and this entire time they're fighting a river monster, and she's like, no, we're gonna look up plants.
This was my favorite scene here, though, there's a water rescue that happens, and so you get a little hint of romance before the little cannonball Spitfire character comes in and just punches him in the gut to get the water out of him.
So great.
It is a comedy. It is a comedy.
Yeah, and it's kind of a slice of life, but fantasy. And
it feels like shoujo, except for American.
Yeah, it's just delightful. And there's the camp counselor, the head camp director, I guess. She, with her tattoos, there's a lot of fun stuff about her that comes up, I think, in later volumes, and like who she really is. Because the first time you meet her, she is like, she knows a little too much and says nothing. Like, she says too little. And you're just like, what is going on? And even the characters are like,
wait, we're not in trouble?
Like, what is happening? And just they're different skill sets, too. Like, some are brave, some do math well, others are great at word puzzles, others art. The Spitfire one, she's just fearless and creative.
Yes.
It's a delightful read for just the characters alone.
Prettiest one, the little redhead, who's the smallest, is the one like, oh, here's a feat of strength. Here, let's put her up there. And they're like,
she's also the most loyal.
Yeah, she's the one that you see the little drawings from her journal and stuff in there. And it's amazing.
Yeah, people totally expect her to be the soft kind of, I'm not going to get my hands dirty, but she will not. She will not stop. Like, and they're all bold and brave as long as they have their friends with them. And I think that's the best part about the story, is that it's these girls just at camp being best friends and supporting each other. And
the art is so it's just distinctive. It feels like it. You know how sometimes you read a comic and it just looks like a certain kind of comic, like
Bailey snoring again in the background, and I'm gonna be giggling every once in a while. I'm so sorry.
The Beetle Bard is singing us a song.
People.
But this is a distinctive art style, and I appreciate that in these sort of off-brand comics. I guess it's not really off-brand; it's Boombox, so yeah, it is kind of off-brand.
It's very independent.
Yeah, and I like that. I like artistic structure. That is not what you would expect it to be. Which, I mean...
Noelle Stevenson also, I think she's the creator, showrunner, and executive producer of the animated television series She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which is on Netflix.
Which has its own huge following. Right? Yeah. Like, they're serious about that shit.
Yep. So she's talented and...
less creepy than Brooke.
Yes. She did a Nimona as well, which was, I think, had a really huge online presence, and that was out, years ago, I think, and that might have been her first real series, because I think Lumberjanes was 2013, and Nimona was 2012, that started happening, because she interned at Boom in 2012.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, Lumberjanes won the award for Best New Series and Best Publication for Teens in the 2015 Eisner Awards. So
you didn't tell me there were like 18 books or 16 or 18 books when I started reading this. What have you signed me up for? This is a huge series.
I don't think she writes all of them.
Oh, that's sad.
That helps. Like, I think they do change creative teams at some point.
Noelle Stevenson is listed on number 15.
She might come back for it then.
Oh, that's the sad thing about comic creation for me, because I just want my people that I love to make the thing forever, and I know that's not realistic, but it hurts me when they don't. I don't like it when my parents break up.
But it's a really good read, at least for that. I think it's still good when the creative team changes. I stopped reading, not because it turned me off, but just because of time constraints and all the other stuff that I got, my taste changed for a little while there. So it's nice to come back to this and read it for this episode because it was a palate cleanser.
Are you going to re-immerse yourself in all of it?
Hell yeah.
Hell
I actually started picking up the Adventure Time.
Which
trade paperbacks
is
again,
the
too.
other thing that it reminded me of, kind of. In just the way that it's sort of like a modern cartoon. It's cool and hard and a huge challenge whenever you're somebody who was raised from a quote-unquote different time to recognize and understand and give validity to modern ideas of social goodness and then like make it into something fun for kids so that they learn in a more positive, like generous upbringing. So stuff like this makes me so happy because I know it's hard to really like understand all of your biases, and whenever you read literature like this that makes it easy, like, God, it's such a refreshing thing. Like, it is a palate cleanser because you're like, I don't have to work to figure out what's problematic because they've kind of just made something that's fun and good and decent.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice.
It is nice. And obviously Noelle Stevenson goes on to do great things that still continue to push the envelope and expectation of media, certainly media that we think is targeted to, with air quotes, or designed for, with also air quotes, or just even about lady types.
Right.
And
which is something I hadn't ever heard before, but I love.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And like all of it's just fun, and you'd think 5 main characters would get a little chaotic, but like they all are so on the same page with everything that the conversations just kind of flow.
It feels kind of like a D&D campaign a little bit. It feels like a little
the
adventure party.
The summarized D&D campaign where you're not going through all of the bickering. It's just like
5 hours of rolling for damage or something.
Yeah, it's straightforward and wonderful.
But not like a D&D campaign. It's like one of those modern
adventure. It's an adventure.
It's like just an adventurer's tale with an adventurer's party, and they're all hardcore lady types that like to kick butt, and then also like are mapping out their own version of their femininity, and I like it.
Oh yeah,
I really like it.
It's really good.
There's not just one type of girl, people, or lady type. God, I love that. That's so good. I'm never not using that from now on. That's amazing.
Should we eventually convert this to Lady Types Make Comics? Or Talk Comics Season 2?
Lady Types Talk Comics Season 2.
When it comes to reading it, there are so many trades that I recommend picking up on trades. And I believe they change creative teams at some point, so it's kind of like you can read Noelle Stevenson's or read other creative teams and just kind of go from there what preferences are. But they're still fun stories. There are a lot of one-shots that come out. Not sure if they're printed in any of the books because the one-shots aren't always.
Maybe there's enough of them, Boom team, that you could make a hardback. Like you could make a big one.
A compendium.
Please make a compendium. Give me that hardback.
But it's fun. You lose nothing by reading it all at once, and you lose nothing by reading it in individual issues as well. So it's just a good, fun ride.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. Like you'll have stories for a long time, and it's just a good, refreshing thing about friendship. Like it's modern. It's modern train, the boxcar.
Boxcar.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah. So it's like
or the
Babysitter's Club.
Babysitter's Club. Like it's a modern. I think it's kind of a modern. More progressive
friendship tale for hardcore lady types. God, that's such a good descriptor. I'm so struck by. I feel really idiotic that I was like, what are they covering up? I was expecting something really like gross, but just covering up the word girl, like, also amazing. Like it is kind of gross in that context, and now I love it even more. Yeah. I realized something today, audience. I'm an idiot, but this is amazing, and that's what I'm talking about. Making inclusive cultural ideas and beliefs into the default is so heartwarming and fun.
Also, the badges that they have them
earn. Oh my God, I love it so much.
There's one about math. That's everything under the sum.
All puns. Literally, they have a punion master, which makes me happy.
It's so great. There's also, like, in the single issues, for a while there, it was really fun. They had playlists that they would, or songs they recommend and things like that. So you could probably Google them and find them somewhere as well.
Yeah.
But like that was the beauty of it.
How did I sleep on this in 2017?
I think it came out in 2015.
How did I sleep on this in 2015?
Probably somebody was like, "This is for teenage girls," and you're like, "It's also for those of us who are jaded and old and
Yeah.
need something refreshing to remind us of the goodness
Do you
of
want to
being
feel good about
a
yourself?
lady type."
Because this will make you feel good. Also, the Lumberjanes field manual pages have that see-through quality, like you're
That
reading an
bleed-through kind
actual
of thing.
book where it's got that bleed through.
So
So the details on this thing are so much fun.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
And then it's just this really stark, because it's sort of zany, and then you get into the comic, and the comic is so vibrant and cartoony and fun. It's just a blast. So it's like, just the juxtaposition is amazing.
Yep. And I do think in later issues they even talk about like the stress about leaving camp. So I think a little bit.
These girls are determined to enjoy their summer.
Yeah. And it's good.
And you should be too.
But thanks for joining us today on this episode. I love it.
I love
so
it
much. And I hope you guys pick up Lumberjanes and go on this incredible friendship journey of just adventures and growth and overcoming bears and snakes and
golems
and werewolves or werefoxes, whatever they are. But we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
One of us. I don't even know that.
That's true. We can edit that out.